So some of you in this class have expressed that you would like to collect your own survey data and analyze it rather than using the general social survey, which is awesome. And this is a little tutorial about using the chi-square calculator and how to analyze your data that you collect. So in order to use a chi-square calculator to do a chi-square analysis, we're looking at the significant differences between two groups. So in order to use the chi-square, you want to have two variables. Their independent and dependent variable are categorical. So this could be something like race, gender, whether yes, no questions, or we call them dichotomous answers like yes or no, whether or not you got the COVID vaccine, for example. So if you have a continuous variable, you would want to use a t-test instead of the chi-square. So this is only if you are using the categorical variables. So all I did here is I just Googled chi-square calculator, and I like using this one, socialsci.statistics.com. And it has a nice little calculator. It's super easy to use. So what I decided that I wanted to do my project on is whether males or females are more likely to have received the COVID vaccine. So this is something that maybe I would ask on Facebook, for instance. There's a lot of different survey tools that you could use. I know SurveyMonkey is one that students have used in the past and have posted it to Facebook, Twitter, and in order to get more respondents, maybe get their friends to share it as well. And this has worked really well for some of them. They've gotten some students have gotten like 200 respondents, which is awesome. You want to try and get as many respondents as possible when you're doing this kind of analysis here, with what we'd call a quantitative analysis. So my two groups are going to be males and females. And my categories are yes, they have gotten the COVID vaccine, and no, they have not gotten the COVID vaccine. So that's simply what you do. We call this a contingency table or a crosstabs table. So then we pick next, and all you want to do is you want to add up from your survey how many people fall into each category. So let's say we had 100 respondents, 50 males and 50 females. You probably won't get equal numbers, but that's my hypothetical project that I'm doing. I'm going to say I got 50 males and 50 females. So say I had 25 females say they got the vaccine and 25 did not get the vaccine. Say I had 15 males say they got the vaccine and 35 males did not get the vaccine. So before this, you want to create a hypothesis. So my hypothesis is that a significant larger number of women would get the COVID vaccine than males. So that would be my hypothesis. And then my null hypothesis would be that there's no statistically significant difference between males and females for getting the COVID vaccine. So you see here column and rows total that there's 50 and 50, so 100. Column totals also add up to 100. So significance level is something that we don't talk about too much in this class. This is more if you take a social statistics class, which is required for if you're a sociology major, you're going to be talking about a lot about significance level. So we're going to leave it at 0.05. This is the most commonly used level. And we're basically saying that we're kind of 95% sure that this is going to be correct. Of course, there's a lot more to this that you're going to learn in stats, but the purpose of this course, you don't really need to worry about significance level. So then we're going to calculate our chi-square. Okay, so our chi-square comes out to 4.1667, and the p-value is 0.041227. So since this p-value falls below our significance level at 0.05, we're going to say the result is significant. So what we're saying here is that a significant larger number of females than males have received the COVID vaccine. So when we're reporting a chi-square result in APA, which is a format that we use in this class, we're going to use the degrees of freedom, the sample size, your statistic, and then your p-value. So right here is all you need to oops, what happened? right here is all the, oh man, okay, why can't I do this? There, this that I highlighted is what you need to report. So the x square is your chi-square. The 1 is your degrees of freedom. So this is simply the number of columns minus 1 and the number of rows minus times the number of rows minus 1. So 2 columns, 2 rows, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 times 1 and 1 together, you get 1. So that's where you get the 1 degree of freedom. So if you only have 2 columns and 2 rows, your degrees of freedom is 1. It's going to be a little bit more if you have more rows and more columns. So your sample size, for our sample, it was 100, 50 males, 50 females. And this is your chi-square statistic. So this would be the 4.1227 that we saw on the last page. And then your p-value here is, ours was 0.041 or something. You can go to 3 decimal places. You don't need to go further than that. And that's just how you report it when you're reporting this in your final paper. So I just want to show you something that is not going to be significant. Okay, how do I go back here? Here. All right, so we're going to start again and say that males, females, yes, no. So say that I collect this data and I got a little bit different of an answer. Say I had 26 females say yes, 24 say no. Say I had 20 males say yes and 30 males say no. So we're going to do this again. And as you can see, our p-value is higher than 0.05. So the result is not significant. So what we would say here is that our hypothesis was not supported. Instead, our null hypothesis was supported. So there's no significant difference in males and females and whether or not they got the COVID vaccine.